This is part 2 of essential gear that matters more than your camera. So in part 1 of this video, we talked about storage, audio, camera accessories. But in this video, I want to add more to that list, but I'm also sharing some things that I think are absolutely necessary for 2025. Now, before we get into the video, I want to give a huge shout out to Apollo.io. Apollo.io is a tool that allows you to get any contact of any employee from any company. So if you're a content creator and you want to reach out to a brand to pitch an idea, or you just want to contact someone at that company, Apollo.io is a tool that I'm using to do just that. I'll leave an affiliate link in my description. Use that link to sign up to Apollo.io today. So the first thing I want to talk about that's absolutely necessary in 2025 are production monitors. Having a way for your clients to see what you're shooting on set is absolutely necessary. My only issue with things like this is the DJI transmitter high bright combo, is the price. This together is about $2,700 and I barely even use them. Instead, this is what I've been using: 2 iPad Pros. This is my iPad Pro 11-inch. This is the 2nd gen, and this is the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. This is the 4th gen, and they both have on Axoon power cages. I ain't gonna lie, I hate this cage. Once you put the iPad in here, you're not gonna wanna take it out. It's so many screws to unloosen and fiddle around, and it's just not a tight fit. And if you use an Apple Pencil, once you put this cage on, you can't use it. So that's one thing I hate about this setup, is the cages. And then you have to like fiddle with it and get it just right. And then there's a little bit of play between the front and the back of the iPad, which if you watch my previous video, I don't like when things move around and are not sturdy and firm. So that's one thing I don't like about this setup. However, moving forward, I think that this is the future of monitoring on set, whether you're doing small sets or high-end productions, because there's so many features that come with this iPad. What I love most about using these iPads is that my Sony cameras could connect to them wirelessly through the monitor and control app. I can mess with the settings of the camera, and I get to still use all my apps. One thing I hate about the Sony monitor and control app is the lack of features. One specific feature is to just put the screen in mirror mode. Most clients, when they're looking at the monitor, they either adjusting their clothes or just trying to see how they look on camera, and trying to like figure out where you are in the camera adjusting things is kind of confusing to people who are just used to looking into a mirror. Even now, as I'm shooting this video, it would be better if the screen was mirrored so that I can know what's my left and right. It's a little confusing when you're trying to work off of a screen that doesn't allow you to mirror. Another con about using the iPads is the lack of support. Right now, it's only companies like Axoon and Atomos that make devices that allow you to plug directly hardwired into the screens, but even those have their limitations. So when I was building these iPad monitor rigs out, I ended up buying 2 Axoon CMO Pros, but I did not realize that they didn't output 4K into the iPad. It was like pointless to buy the CMO Pros when I already had the CineViews that transmitted HD. So I ended up returning them, and Axoon, they do make a CMO 4K, but as I was about to get the CMO 4K, I ended up buying the next item on the list, which is the Axoon CineView Master 4K. So this is the Axoon CineView Master 4K. Not only is this a 4K transmitter, but it has all the features of the CMO 4K. This, paired with my FX6 and the iPads, is the best combination that I've used so far at this price point. What I love most about this is that it has 2 inputs, HDMI and SDI. When I'm on the FX6, because I record everything on the Atomos, I use the HDMI to send a raw signal into the Atomos, and then I use the SDI coming out of the FX6 into this so I can transmit to the iPads on set. And when Ashley's recording with this, I run the HDMI out of the A7 IV into the HDMI of the transmitter, and then I hardwire out of the transmitter into the iPad. And the cool thing is, even though it's hardwired, it's sending a video signal out of the USB port into the smaller iPad. I'm in the other room getting a wireless feed into the larger iPad. Next up, I want to talk about my favorite item on this list, and that's the SAT Global saddle bag. 2025, I ain't going nowhere without this bag. When I'm wearing this bag and I'm handheld with the camera, I can shoot for hours without getting fatigued. Recently, I did a Babyface Ray concert and I was standing on my feet for about 4 hours and I was fine at the end of the night. I did a conference without this bag and by the end of the night, my arms were shaking, my back was sore. When I tell you this is my most favorite purchase, it's an understatement. One thing I hate about this bag is the original strap that it came with. I just took this from my Sackler tripod carrying case. To have something to alleviate pain and fatigue, to then put a strap that's painful and causes fatigue is backwards. So if you get this bag, just make sure you replace the strap. The one that came with this was absolutely horrendous. Next up, I want to talk about the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This segment isn't about the camera, it's about the accessories that you can get for this camera, but I want to make a bold statement. This camera is the best camera ever made. Again, this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is the best camera ever made, and I stand by that. It's handheld, it fits in your pocket, it has a gimbal, you can shoot vertical or horizontal, you can go to selfie mode by the click of a button, you can shoot in 422 and D-Log, and you can record 32-bit float with a microphone that connects wirelessly. This is a mount that I put together to mount the Osmo inside my vehicle on the dashboard. If you drive a BMW, you know how impossible it is to mount anything on top of your dashboard. This is why I had to share this with y'all, because I finally found a solution. I'll have everything linked in the description so you can go ahead and make it if you drive a BMW. But this is how important the Osmo is to me, which is why I'm getting rid of the BMW, just so I can have another vehicle where I can mount things nice and easy for my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So what's really cool about this mount is that it could do multiple things. We took a road trip to New York around Thanksgiving and I was able to mount this in the car. I had the Osmo filming the both of us while we were talking. And then with this MagSafe on the side, it's able to move left and right. And then Ashley, while we're still shooting, she can mount her phone and do any reels or TikToks that she needed to do for her content day. So this is something I just wanted to share because I was so happy and proud about this little car rig that I made for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Another accessory that is absolutely necessary for 2025 if you got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is this little skateboard rollerblade wheel thingy. Whenever I need to get like a product shot, I mount the Osmo to it. I use the object tracking on the DJI to just track my subject, and then you can roll this thing anywhere and create cool shots. I'm gonna have all the links to these products in the description box, so if you wanna support this channel, use those links and I get a little commission every time you purchase one of these products. Now this might be insignificant to a lot of people, but the next product on this list that every content creator should have are these Velcro straps. I use these things for everything. Maybe it's a little bit OCD the way I use them. Almost every cable that I own has one of these attached to it. I have them in drawers. I just have them around the house and in all my cases, just in case I'm on a job and I might need one, I can always find them. Go get you some of these Velcro straps. This next item isn't film specific, but it's one thing that I'm gonna be using a whole lot more in 2025. This right here is a Raspberry Pi connected into a Stream Deck XL, and this allows me to control the ATEM Mini Extreme wirelessly. And the second way I'm using a Raspberry Pi is inside of this 4K ISO recording and streaming rig. Inside of here, I got a Raspberry Pi that's running an app called Full Page OS. However, the main purpose of this Pi is to open up to the YouTube chat overlay so that whenever we're live streaming, we can use the chat overlay app into the ATEM, because normally it's hard to get the chat overlay into the ATEM unless you're using a computer, but the Pi is its own computer. And the cool thing about the Pi is with Full Page OS, it automatically opens up to that chat window. And then I can use the Stream Deck Pi and pretty much change and switch out and run any animations to control the ATEM Mini Extreme. Right here, I got a Raspberry Pi 500, which is a Raspberry Pi with the keyboard built in. And I also have the Touch 2 Raspberry Pi touchscreen, which I got a project coming up and I'll keep you posted and show y'all what I do with that. So these are some more essential items that matter more than your camera, and I recommend for 2025 that you look into all of these. If you found this video helpful in any kind of way, hit the like button, share the video, hit the subscribe button for more content like this, and I will see you in the next one.